Wait, this is it? For the 10th year anniversary of this game, we get some pseudo-intellectual disaster livestream that consisted of 12 hours of staring at a PNG, no new map, no tied-in survivor, no balance changes at all, and a weak, reskinned, safe, uninspired butchering of a horror icon. Yep, and despite the community acting really hyped, and everyone faking their reactions and screaming at the mobile game Mori saying, "That's so cool, dude!" because they have to. Despite all that, what's actually in this chapter? It's insanely shallow overall, but none of the big creators are calling this out because they're on Daddy Behavior's payroll and they'll lose their financial incentives and bonuses like early access and the creator program if they talk any shit. It's embarrassing, man, but I don't blame you for doing it. Money talks. But what does a free thinker such as me, someone actively hated by the developers of the game, think about this chapter?
It sucks.
So before getting started with Jason himself, maybe we can start with their live stream that they hyped up and completely disrespected everyone's time with. Any DBD content creator worth their salt went live to capitalize off the hype of what the new license could be, and we were met with this: a desperate attempt at a publicity stunt that wasted everyone's time. Aughts had to wake up at 3 in the morning just to go back to sleep. Even the creator program Shills couldn't fake being interested past the 2-hour mark. This brilliant idea they had to reveal it is just so incredibly cynical, and it would have worked okay if they didn't have to hype it up before, like it was something interesting, and the live stream just started with no warning. But no, the devs thought this was such a cool and quirky and different way to finally reveal Jason at the end, leaving in little shitty Easter eggs to make the extremely bored DBD Twitter troons spurg out about it because this was the plan all along. You're playing right into it. But alright, who cares about how obvious and cynical this live stream was? We finally have Jason. We've completed the Mount Rushmore of horror icons in DBD. The guy who was literally removed from the game for copyright, the guy with the recycled slop power, the guy who has no cosmetics or voice lines and comes from the 2010 version that everyone hates, and the guy, the mask, that is currently in the bottom 3 killers. Oh joy, this game is kind of really fucking embarrassing, isn't it? The let people enjoy things mindset has done irreparable damage to this game. You deserve what you tolerate. And since everyone was just perfectly fine with Springtrap being the embarrassing mess that he was, and still is, or were told to say that with Dork holding a gun at their head, you are now realizing you're forced to like Jason because you've been told by the creators on the payroll, just consume the slop. The quality doesn't matter. It's Jason, dude. You're supposed to like this. And look, as the same creators are clip farming versus fresh installs and literal bots on the PTB with his reskinned ranged attack, that must mean the killer's good, right? History really does repeat itself. But enough stalling. What makes Jason's power so uninspired and bad to me? Well, the bread and butter of his power is throwing an Orisa spear that he gets one shot of that pins survivors to walls. Are we serious? This is the best they could come up with for such a horror staple? It's just reskinned range slop part 40? When Springtrap came out, I thought this finally might be the last of their range killer with teleport copy-paste that they seem to do with all their important licenses now. It's just so incredibly safe and lame. The throw thing at survivor and it takes a health state genre of killer isn't even a dead horse at this point. It's a low-hanging fruit that has fallen off the bottom of the tree and is rotting on the ground. I cannot believe no one else cares how recycled this power is. It's just give him a spear, dude. Just because it's Jason and they could clip farm on AFKs, that means this is good. If this was an original killer called the Spear Thrower, no one would tolerate this shit, but it's Jason, so you have to. Behavior must have had all 2 brain cells in maximum overdrive to think of this. I mean, we could already throw axes, vomit, a spear, gun, the ground, knives, a tentacle, birds, a tail, a purple grenade, skulls, fire, a dog, and another axe to take a health state away from survivors. And almost all these abilities have the exact same counterplay. When you're at a loop, run around and greet the pallet. If you drop the pallet in his face, you get hit. If he doesn't respect the pallet and walks through, if you don't stun him, you probably get hit. Really unique stuff here. But if you're out in the open, you just kind of run around randomly and hope he misses. That's basically it. The range gameplay back and forth is fine, but it's the same thing for every single one of these killers. At least unlike Springtrap, Jason's spear is actually a threat. At closer ranges, the velocity makes it incredibly hard to dodge, and he has very little cooldown after using it, making him one of the best 2-tap killers in the game, especially if it displaces you. If only you got more than one shot. Yes, if you're chasing a survivor and you miss or even hit a spear when they're healthy, you're now chasing them as a 110 killer with no power. You're basically forced to leave or go out of your way, losing tons of distance to get another spear. At least reloading like this is something kinda new, but not in a good way. Unless there's a scrap pile at the tile you're chasing, you're just fucked basically. Exactly. You can take off your own hooks as spears, which disables them for a minute, which is incredibly stupid and very questionable design. But this is my main problem with his power. It's just lame. Oh, what does Springtrap do in DBD? He throws an axe. Oh, what does Jason do? He throws a spear. There's no way there wasn't something less recycled and more inspired you could do for this power. Even someone like me who has little attachment to the franchise and hasn't seen a single one of the movies, I know Jason has a wide variety of weapons in the franchise. What if instead of just a spear with the exact same counterplay as every other ranged killer, he got a variety of weapons that all have their own durability, and he could replenish the durability one at a time at these stashes? One of them could be the spear, sure. Like, I saw this concept for Art the Clown a year or so back where he has like a weapons wheel. He couldn't have this? I've talked about how desperately this game needs to get creative in my recycled killer problem video and my modifiers video that no one watched. In the recycled killer one, I list multiple ideas for killer powers that would be extremely unique and fit the game, but honestly, I guess why would Behavior even bother doing something creative at this point when everyone claps like seals at the fact that we have Jason to begin with, without a map or survivor, by the way? Why would they try something new when they could just play it safe? Licenses get this game a ton of attention from normies anyways, so I guess they have to play it safe even though no one is truly excited. And no one will main him out of anything other than copium. We're just fine being fed slop time after time after time. Why risk creative powers that aren't dash slop, teleport slop, or range slop? And people wonder why I like Singularity so much. Okay, but if the best they could truly think of for this horror legend is, duh, he throws the spear like a caveman. You know, a guy with all these abilities, who uses over 50 weapons in his films, who had his own asymmetrical multiplayer game with mechanics and abilities far more creative than DBD, so why not just use those? If that's all they could think of for his chase power, then what's his other power? I mean, every killer has to be multifaceted nowadays. You can't just focus on one clearly defined power like they used to do with every killer. Every killer has to have an Overwatch kit of multiple half-baked reskinned abilities, so his omnipresent evil ability lets him go into a mode where he gets increased movement speed, can't see survivors, can teleport to specific vault locations, and can stay in as long as he wants. Oh, that's just bat form. Yeah, and everything but name and visuals, this is just Dracula's bat form. It looks different, you can teleport to upright pallets and breakable walls, and survivors don't see you even though it's extremely telegraphed, but yeah, it's just bat form, which people already compared to Spirit's phase, even though it did do enough unique things to set itself apart. Great. And there's a lot of baffling decisions when it comes to this power. Why do you swing at the air when it starts and that actually damages survivors? What's that about? What even is this animation supposed to be? It just looks so bad. He starts holding his spear vertically to look around, I guess? Why can survivors still see the grass moving, destroying any chance of a proper ambush? Why does your movement speed increase by 4.545% after coming out of it for a bit? Why is this killer 110 movement speed to begin with? This just incentivizes 110 abusing around rocks, even more so he physically can't use his power. But honestly, the gameplay and counterplay this ability promotes is a little different. Having to constantly leave chase to reset your spears, and having this power on hardly a cooldown, gives him a way better macro aspect to his power, and way better traversal than someone like Xenomorph or Springtrap, where their reskinned teleport devices are in fixed locations and require you to walk up to them to use them. You can sort of play him like a ranged Sadako, quickly going from place to place to hit and run, constantly switching targets, which is pretty fun and the only aspect that makes me like him more than Springtrap. If one of the chase power you use once you get there was unique, or fun, or strong, I can see the potential here, but I don't know, man, he just needed more. More weapons, more ways to jump scare, a more focused and refined power, because what we have here is safe, 4 out of 10 slop that could easily have been so much better. Just making him 4.6 at least would solve some of his problems, but Behavior is really obsessed with 4.4 killers right now for some reason. We got Vecna 2 into Trickster's rework, into the Blight nerfs, good by the way, into Jason. Do they not realize almost no killers actually need to be 4.4 speed? The only ones that need to be 4.4 are Blight and Spirit, and Nurse should stay at her speed, obviously. Every other 110 killer would not blow up the game if they were 115. All 4.4 movement speed does is make survivors interact with the killer way less. It promotes the most unhealthy gameplay of just pre-run pre-drop, but luckily for Jason, it's kind of hard to pre-run him because of his stealth. What you can do at the moment is when you see the map become foggy, just go somewhere away from pallets and windows and crouch. He can't see you in that mode when he's crouching, so there's basically no counterplay to this at all. He'll just be running around and looking lost as he uses his own power against him. It's pathetic. It's not like Batform where you can come out of this whenever you want. No, you need a specific location, making you extremely predictable. Just get away from those locations and you'll have a massive head start on them. Once the Survivor player base realizes this, you can say goodbye to jump scaring or catching anyone off guard, which is always really good at. It's just a shame, man. At least Vecna was a unique take on a killer despite how weak he is. Jason might as well not even be in the game because there's 20 other killers that do his exact job better. The fact that this PTB has literally nothing else to it saddens me even more. There's a new original survivor they couldn't even finish the model on because apparently reskinning a reskin was so much work they ran out of time to do that. And of course, there are no balance changes to the game at all, nothing interesting or gameplay affecting to look forward to, no Crystal Lake map, nothing. This is the game's 10th year anniversary. It's such an embarrassment, especially after such a shit year. We hardly even get content anymore in this game. We get killers like every 5 months, as opposed to every 3 months like how it used to be. And I'd be fine with that, less content, if they were actually making meaningful changes to the game, but nothing has happened. The game has barely changed over the past year, because after failing Operation Health Part 30, the devs have just given up doing anything at all. We've needed a shakeup for years. I've been saying this for months, but if everyone is just happy to sit there and consume the same tired slop they've been feeding us since Xenomorph, I guess there's no reason to really strive for better or try. You are what you tolerate. This is your fault. Demand better.
So as you can see here, while he's in Omnipresent Evil, you can see different like
right.
auras of where he can possibly come from. And you can change positions.
Oh, really?
By toggling the switch sides button on the mouse.
Oh, okay.
So when he does that, I'm assuming, so he's invisible. You
really?
See footprints of people that are running.
No.
See, look at the auras there. You
No
can
way.
see which one you want. You have the pallet, or you can vault through a window.
Really?
So he comes to the pallet. And did that pallet just block?
No way.
Insane.
That's crazy, bro.
I'm pretty sure that that pallet is blocked when he comes out of that, and the window was also blocked too.
Wow.
Range killer when you're holding a charge. Jason tunneling? Jesus Christ, I can't believe it.